Halfback Atkin, who's 26, has agreed to move to Salford Red Devils. Atkin is to be reunited in 2020 with Salford boss Ian Watson, who coached him at Swinton. Former Catalan player Drinkwater, who's 27, is approaching the end of his one-year deal with Rovers, having played in every game for them in 2019. And there's some speculation, actually, that he might be going back to the south of France.
Yeah.
And forward Greenwood, who's 28, first joined on loan from Wigan Warriors in 2015, but has missed the majority of this season with a knee injury. And of course, it's the news, so we had a view, and of course it's Hullcast, so we definitely had a view from Tom Andrews on this one.
Yeah, well, Greenwood, just to add, has been confirmed as joining Salford for 2020, so I think that's a good move for him, because he gets to play under a coach who's developed everyone else that's played under him. So I think coming into that stage of his career at 28, he needs to kind of do something to be remembered by now. And I think Ian Watson might help him with that. But Tom Andrews did get in touch. He said, I think Mr. Smith would have liked to have kept Chris Atkin, but the damage was done under Sheens and his lack of playing time. Can't blame him for looking elsewhere, and I wish him luck. He has the tools to be a great player. Sad to see Greenwood leave. Didn't get the chance to earn his new contract with so many forwards retiring. I would have thought he would have been kept on. And then Drinkwater has lots of critics, but he has done more for Rovers than people appreciate or understand this season. He has also spent most of the season playing behind half a pack, but I do think Abdul is a more than suitable replacement for him, though. So yeah, kind of mixed feelings there from Tom. You're a Hull KR fan too. Is it mixed feelings from you too on those departures?
I think Chris Atkin, I definitely agree. It's a kind of an opportunity lost. I think he's someone who could have done very well over a longer period, and I think he's definitely got the technique, and I think he just needs the confidence. The fact he's had to play in about 6-7 different positions and being utilised from the bench, which I don't think helps him. I think he needs that confidence where he is in the starting side, and maybe if he gets spelled, but I think he needs to start and playing in one position rather than being bounced around all over the shop. That's partly due to injuries over the last 2 seasons, but that's not helped. And I think, Tim Sheens just didn't get him and didn't quite get how to work with him. So I think there was definite problems there. Drinkwater, came expecting a lot given the performance he's had, particularly sort of in the Challenge Cup run for Catalan. Very excited when we signed him, but then soon dissipated for the year, and he's just been there in the background and not really done too much visually. I get Tom's point about he has done more than perhaps you see, but you can't really. We get with an aging, falling apart Danny Maguire. You needed someone to come on this year and step up, would have provided a platform for next year.
I can't recall more than maybe one game where someone's kind of given us the impression that he played a match-winning turn. And I know Hull KR haven't won many matches, but out of 10 wins, I can't think there's been more than one where he's been instrumental in that, which I think is how you would judge him. Whereas at Catalans last year, you felt he was instrumental in half the wins that they achieved under the time he was in the side. So maybe Catalans is a place for him to rediscover himself next year. But in maybe more exciting news, with a big asterisk next to this piece of news, but Hull Kingston Rovers have confirmed that they completed the signing of Sean Kenny-Dowell for 2020. Two dads, Sean Kenny-Dowell. The New Zealand international confirmed to the Australian press on Friday that he would leave the Knights to take up a deal in the Super League next season, and Total RL revealed that Kenny-Dowell, capped 21 times by the Kiwis, has now signed with the Robins on a significant 6-figure salary for the next 3 seasons. Of course, the asterisk is as long as they stay up. But this is exciting, isn't it? This is a player who obviously is towards the end of his real peak, but he's been a big deal in the NRL, and he's been a big deal in the international scene for much of the time that the Super League pod has been around. That's for certain. Yeah,
I mean he's been in and around for the best part of a decade. He's definitely quite literally a name, and he's someone that comes with a reputation. Okay. There are some off-the-field stuff as well that you have to caveat that with. That's not brilliant, but then we have a history of that. We have worse in the competition and the commentary box, and but there's definitely still going to be something there, and I think it could, were KL to stay in Super League, which I think they will. Spoiler for later. Then I think that's definitely something that's going to be a sign to get hyped about. Whether how much ball he'll see and how much homesickness he'll get after a year, you don't know, but certainly there's reasons to be optimistic there.
What we'll have to assume is his agent will work out a deal with another Super League club, you would think, if Hull KR don't stick around, maybe one coming into the division or one that's shed a lot of players. So I think it's exciting. It's another big size name. I mean, there's rumours of other big size names that are being flogged around the Super League, so we could see this thing continuing. We've had the likes of Blake Austin, Jackson Hastings, we've got Gareth Widdop coming next year, we've got George Burgess coming next year, we've got James Maloney coming next year. This is a potentially exciting time for Super League to be full of stars again, so Kenny Dow can fit in that box, I think. Salford then, they're the other big club who we've been talking about in this move of players, and they've confirmed the signing of Wakefield prop Paulie for next season. Paulie, who's 25, had a successful loan spell with the Red Devils in May as part of a swap deal with Centre Junior South, so he's going back to he seems settled and happy at Salford in his short spell there, so he's going back there to play under Ian Watson, and I mean,
they tried before they buyed, and they were happy with it. So yeah,
exactly. They're losing Griffin and Jones, who are the starting second rowers now, but replacing them with Greenwood and Paulie, I think is a solid bit of Super League business for Watson and his Salford club.
Yeah, I mean he's only 25 as well.
Yeah,
so he's still got plenty of years.
25 in years, 25 in stone. That's Paulie. 5 players have been shortlisted by the England Performance Unit for the title of Young Player of the Year, and the winner will be chosen by the Rugby League media. We've not been contacted yet, Tim. I don't understand, but they'll be chosen. I'm sure
the invite's in the post next to the game callers.
I've actually bought tickets to the Super League Awards night that will see the Man of Steel crowned as well as the Young Player of the Year crowned. So that awards evening is on October the 6th. When the Young Player of the Year will be announced, so I'll be there at that. So anyone else who's going, let me know, and we'll make sure we all say hello to each other. The shortlisted youngsters are Matty Lees of St Helens, Jack Walker and Harry Newman of Leeds, and Castleford's Jake Truman and Morgan Smithies of Wigan. Just a note on Matty Lees, his season's done with the bowel surgery. That sounds quite serious that he's had. No clear timescale on his recovery and return, but he's going to have the off-season to get things sorted up, so good luck to Matty Lees on that. Who do you make your choice out of those 5, Tim?
Truman for me. Newman coming second, but definitely Truman, I think. And it is the age-old bias towards a half-back or flair player, but I think he's been outstanding this season, and he's really kicked on from last year. I think Newman has had a breakthrough year and done well for Leeds, but I think Truman is just that extra bit of quality.
I don't know if I always look at Young Player of the Year awards right, but I kind of look at it as much as who's the youngest that's impressed me the most, not who's the one who qualifies under the age limits and has impressed me the most. And I would genuinely be looking at Harry Newman or Morgan Smithies. I don't think either of those two players were expected to have massive roles in their team's seasons this year, but Harry Newman allowed Leeds to let go of out of form, but one of the best centres we've ever seen in the Super League era in terms of talent. Certainly he's allowed Leeds to let go of them, and every single time I've seen Harry Newman he's absolutely impressed me. And Morgan Smithies, the best thing I can say about Morgan Smithies is he reminds me a lot of people like John Bateman, but also he's meant we haven't missed Sean O'Loughlin as much when Sean O'Loughlin's been out of the side this year. And for an 18-year-old kid, he's the youngest on this shortlist, Morgan Smithies, and he's the only one who made his Super League debut this season out of that shortlist. I just think what he's been able to do in such a short space of time, and watching him week in, week out, and just getting great joy at the fact that he'll stand up to the oldest and dirtiest player on the opposition side and say, I'm here, I'm about. I'd give it to Morgan Smithies personally, because like I say, I kind of always look like who's the youngest who's impressed me the most, and he's the youngest on that list, and so it'd be between him and Newman, but Smithies the nod for being slightly younger, I would say. Okay, into the Championship then, Tim.
Yeah, Halifax have confirmed that 7 players will leave the club at the end of the season, including the world's gingerest ginger Shane Grady, Ben Johnston, not the sprinter, Ben Kay, and Will Sharp, alongside Adam Brooke, Harry Kidd, and Jordan Syme.
I'd say Syme.
Yeah. Shane Grady, who I was surprised to learn this evening was only 28. I was convinced he would, you could have added 10 years to that.
He does look kind of like he's been around the block a few more times than he actually has, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I misremembered how long ago. I thought he played at London longer ago than just 2013 as well. But there we go.
Halifax have been making some other moves. They've signed halfback Tom Gilmore from Widnes for the 2020 campaign, so obviously taking advantage of Widnes stripping back there and becoming a part-time operation and things like that. They've also confirmed the signing, now this is big, and this is a brilliant replacement for Will Sharp, of Jody Broughton. The Catalans winger signed for the West Yorkshire club for 2020. Broughton, who spent the entirety of his career in Super League to now, boasts an impressive try-scoring record of 122 tries and 198 career. Basically, he scores 2 tries for every 3 games he plays, pretty much, give or take. I think that's a fantastic sign. As long as he can stay fit, he'll more than adequately replace Will Sharp, who's been one of the best outside backs in the Championship for the last 10 years. And
he is still the world's fastest quantity surveyor.
Exactly, yeah. Halifax coach Simon Grix, though, he's confirmed that his playing days are finished. Grix was named as the new Fax coach earlier this year, moving up from his role as player coach. The forward, who enjoyed a 10-year career at Warrington, hasn't featured on the pitch since taking the role of head coach and has confirmed that he has now hung up his boots for good. So that's Halifax news done.
Is it Widnes time?
Bit of Widnes, bit more Widnes. We had a taste of Widnes, but let's get a
chemical
full
taste.
Meal.
Well, definitely with sides. Widnes winger Patrick Arvan has left the club again with immediate effect to take up an offer in rugby union. The 31-year-old, check that passport, returned to the club in July and played for free to help the club when they were in special measures.
If he's 31, right, he must have lots of kids because he always looks incredibly tired for 31.
Yeah. Yeah, I no way I believe that one.
Jack Owens will stay at Widnes for 2020, though. He was named the club's Player of the Year at their end-of-season dinner and has now agreed a deal for 2020 despite the club reverting to part-time status. So I think that's quite a coup because he has been a strong performer for Widnes this year.
Definitely has stood out for them. Featherstone have signed former Hull KR centre Thomas Minns on a 2-year deal. And of course, another Thomas got in touch to tell us what he thought.
Yes, Tom Andrews said, glad to see him get a club lined up. Very good player on his day. Battled more off-the-field issues than some people will ever face. Good luck, Thomas. So well wishes there from Hull KR for their former player.
Let's hope he can get a run at Featherstone and settle into that side and get back to doing some playing, which is what he can do.
Yeah, undoubtedly a talented player. We saw that from his early times. I think he was a loanee, weren't he, at London in their disastrous year, but he stood out in most of their games that I saw him play. And you can't sort of, you can explain and understand some of the things he's done off the field with some of the challenges he's gone through, but you can't necessarily excuse them. Absolutely, he has to work back and rebuild, and getting an injury when he got a chance to come back this year didn't help him with that. So hopefully he will get that stability and be able to come through his problems and have a clean record from now on in.
Yeah, and if not, as he's going to be playing for Featherstone, he can just blame the ref.
Oh, well, Featherstone apparently are considering playing some games behind closed doors after their fan behaviour of late. I'm sure the refereeing decision late on in the game at the weekend won't have helped the behaviour of the fans, because certainly I can understand why they were frustrated at it. But
the first one was a forward pass, even though they gave it as a knock on. It was definitely a forward pass.
It's more the one in the final minute that was the confusing and concerning one.
But the fact they've gone to the bother of clipping up a video to show the mistakes just shows the mentality for me.
Yeah, well, I think at least it's their behaviour is being taken seriously by the club if they're talking about things like closing the doors for a game, because that is vital revenue to a Championship semi-professional club, one that has good aspirations of becoming full-time or progressing or what have you with the the stands that they put around the ground, the players that they put on the pitch. So obviously the fans have to hold up their end of that bargain too, I would think, and